My name is Alexi Bracey, and welcome back to Highway to Health. What does a gorilla, a giraffe, a horse, and a hippopotamus have in common? They are all vegetarian and they are the strongest animals on the planet. So hence I'd like to share with you some sources of plant-based protein that you incorporate in your day on every day, probably without even thinking about it. So men need 56 grams of protein per day per average, depending on how active and how old, and women need 46 grams. So what are sources of plant-based protein? Well, avocado has protein in it. You've got green beans. You've got peas. Peas are really high in protein. They have 9 grams of protein per cup, actually. Then you've got your nut butters. You've got your almond butter, your cashew butter, your peanut butter. Stay away from peanut butter because it is a really high mold nut, and actually so are cashews. Then we've got your beans. You've got your black beans, you've got your kidney beans, you've got your pinto beans. They all range between 7 to 9 grams of protein per cup. Lentils, also the same in that area, around 7 grams per cup. Then you've got your nuts and your seeds. So for example, pumpkin seeds have higher protein content than sunflower seeds, and then almonds are really close behind, but in moderation, because even though they're protein content and they're a good nut, they are high fat content, so no more than half a cup worth of nuts per day. Chia seeds, 2 tablespoons equals 8 grams of protein. I mean, that's, wow, dynamo. So if you put that into your smoothie in the morning, you're well on your way to getting your adequate protein intake if you add some nuts and seeds and you add like a raw protein or chlorella or spirulina. The king of grains, quinoa, which is a non-gluten grain, has 9 grams of protein per cup, also really high on the list. It also is high in magnesium, calcium, and iron. Artichoke, believe it or not, 4 grams of artichoke in half a cup. So that, if you like artichoke, that's a really good vegetable. 3 to 4 stalks of asparagus yield you also 4 grams of protein. Then you've got spirulina, which is 4 ounces in 1 tablespoon, and it has more protein in it than a 4-ounce chicken breast. So go figure that one. Then you've got your tahini and your nutritional yeast. And nutritional yeast is not the yeast that you use to rise bread. It's totally different. It yields you 6 grams of protein in 2 tablespoons. So this is just an example. You don't have to do the protein powders and the nuts and the seeds. You've got your beans, your legumes, your quinoa. So until next time, remember, good health is a choice. So choose wisely.